I guess doing NoFap day 8 of 90, and we are an hour, an hour or less than that away from day 9. And yes, today, just to get right into it, I did feel some urges today. Um, I didn't really give my mind a chance to entertain the urges. Like I was saying before, I just kept saying, well, I can't be doing, I'm not gonna be doing this the rest of my life. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. Ever. I'm good. I'm not doing this again. I just kept saying that, and then bam, it went away. So it's just a fact of it's just a fact of speaking positively into your life. Then positive things happen. If you just sit there and then get depressed because you have an urge and you just don't know how to deal with the urge. I mean, you're just gonna end up busting that nut eventually. And let me see, is that way I can turn this thing? What's wrong with this? There should be a way where I can. It's not letting me turn it. I'm gonna show you guys the fish tank really quickly. You guys see? I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can do this. What's that? The fit. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. I'm an awful cameraman. But anyway, yes, I had to get another fish tank because this one is way too small. And that little square, that little triangle I was talking about the other day, is very unattractive. But yes. How you guys doing today? Let me just read these comments. But yeah, besides the urges, I had to work today, so work was once again work at 3, so it wasn't really much today that was to talk about. But the 360 waiver, if you have online, you can add me Young VV waiver online. In terms of what? Then Empirical says, have you heard about the Egyptians swallowing down the semen to retain it? I don't think I ever want to try that. Yeah, me neither. I'm good with that. You ever get the urge? You ever get the urge to fap, and then as you're fapping, you start thinking some crazy stuff, and you start telling yourself you do all this crazy stuff, but after you bust that nut, you good. You you good with? I don't know about that. No, not at all, not at all. I just rather not bust that nut. I don't have to. I'm not gonna swallow my own semen. That's a little nasty. I didn't read the comments from the last video, so I'm gonna go through those really quickly. Johnny St. Louis, yes, Cardi. Unfortunately, I binged with porn and Ultimate Fail day 3. Well, you back on probably day 4, almost 5 now for you, so keep that up. And then John01104. Sure, I try to explain. Unfortunately, I do not have a shit finish. This was in regards to his comment last video when he says he thinks of shit whenever he gets in the urge, something like that. Unfortunately, I do not have a shit fetish, so otherwise this method wouldn't have worked for me. Whenever a fantasy creeps up, I try to stop it as soon as possible. I find girls shitting disgusting, so once I imagine that the urges leave me alone, I can easily go on with my day. I guess whatever works for you works for you, but I doubt that could possibly work for me. I'm just gonna have to just outright with feet. Just beat the urge head on. I can't. For some reason, tactics like that don't work for me. And then Johnny St. Louis says, I do a similar thing, but not too much because it gets weird. Sometimes I think of nature with some peaceful music in the background. That work for you. That can work as well. Then Imperial says again, once you go NoFap, you never go back. So apparently the Saints just won in overtime against the Cowboys. But by a kick return, let me see. Waiting for the replay here.
You can see the confusion going on back here. Damian Wilson, the young rookie, just got a little bit lost. He's out there. You don't have Sean Lee. You don't have that leadership. And he just got lost. He didn't realize.
Well, then he just got lost. Now back to the comments. I'll be last, but I continue with your streak. That was from the 360 waiver. Gotta keep on moving. I try to think of something positive to say, but until I can get to 30 days, I can't say anything. I can't give any advice because I'd be busting those nuts left and right. So I gotta wait. I gotta wait a few more weeks before I can even start even thinking about giving advice to people as far as this relapsing is concerned. Weirdest place I ever fat was outside of the classroom. That was by New Day. You said outside. Yeah. I had an urge one time doing a few months ago, and I literally almost thought about fapping inside of the classroom. I had like a 10-second thought of just about to fap secretly in the classroom, because once you fap a certain amount of times, you gotta start going to more extremes type of stuff until you just say, F it, I need to do this in order to get me off. I was thinking about to just fap in this classroom, but I was quickly able to get out of my ecosystem. But I had fapped inside of this in like 12th grade. I fapped inside of the bathroom. Took some pictures of this young lady on Twitter. It felt, and after I bust that nut and I left the bathroom, I felt extremely awkward and weird. So yeah, it just goes to tell you, man, how just and also my first year at college, I fapped inside of the bathroom as well. And then as I'm leaving the bathroom, I encountered this young lady that you know how y'all know what avoidance is when you trying to when you avoid somebody because you don't want to deal with the quote unquote awkward situation. You know when you avoid like a young lady. This was like a year and a half ago on campus when I used to literally see her everywhere, and so upon fapping, busting that nut, I came out of the bathroom and she's literally right there. I was like, what the hell? Felt extremely unconfident, weird. It was long. It was a while. I ain't got time. That was a while ago. I ain't got time for that. If I do relapse, it's definitely not gonna be nowhere public. No name. What I'm trying to do now is install more good habits like working out and doing creative things. I think it will help distract urges if I'm more productive day two. Speaking of working out, I actually just got done working out for the longest I've ever done in like a month and a half. A combined total of about like what, almost 45 minutes. So it felt pretty good, to get back to it again. So I am now back on track. But you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 9. Or yes, day 9. Day 9, yes. And yes, you guys have a lovely day. And as always, don't relapse.